Hi, welcome back and thanks for watching. So in the past few videos I've been writing out different rhythmic examples. I've kind of been pulling up some examples to show you out of music, excuse me, sorry, out of music that I've had on my computer. But I thought it would be a good thing, a good challenge to see if I could get my software to work with importing a little four measure snippet out of a real piece of music that I've been working on, and putting it in here and seeing if we can't work with it this way. So hopefully you're not confused by the white background, and hopefully everything still is going to work okay. But anyway, this is the piece of music that we're going to work on, and I'll just tell you right now, you can't see it because this is kind of taken from the middle of the piece, but this is a piece that's in 4/4 time, so that is the time signature. And we've got a few other things sort of going on in, I guess, in this piece right now that we're sort of looking at with, I guess, to start off with, we've got a clef and we've got a key signature, and we've also got 5 lines of music, and this is all stuff that we'll get into in depth, hopefully in a lot of depth, once we get into the second, I guess, chapter of this playlist. The second chapter being, what pitches we play and stuff like that. But for right now, let's just keep working on our rhythm. So, step one that we're going to do to get this into a workable fashion, we'll put this over here, is step one. There we go. Okay, so step one is we're going to pretty much eliminate all the lines out of this, and we're going to reduce it just down to a rhythm. So let's start with that. And I think I'm actually going to change colors. Let me do blue. I've got my blue pen working pretty well, so I'm going to see how that works. Oh yeah, that works a little bit better. Okay, so we're in 4/4 time. And our first measure, what do we have? Well, it looks like we've got 4/8 notes to start off with, so I'll write that down. I'll beam them all together because they're all beamed together here. So, got 1, 2, 3, 4/8 notes, and let's write the beam. There we go. And then what do we have? We've got a half note. Half note. Then we've got a bar line. Then what do we have? Well, this, hopefully you can see that, but that is, I can tell you right there, is an eighth rest. So we'll draw in our eighth rest, which is our Y with a flag on it, or a little line with a flag on it, or a Y with this curly Q at the bottom. And then after that, we've got our dotted quarter note. So hopefully you've got a good grasp on dotted note values, and so we've got our dot off to the side of the note, which means that we're adding 1/2 of the value of this quarter note to it. So this means that this is going to occupy the space. This dotted quarter note is going to occupy the space of 3/8 notes. So that combined with this eighth rest takes us all the way through 2 beats of the second measure. And then after that, what do we have? Well, we've got 2 quarter notes. Write those down. 1, 2. So there we go. And I'm kind of switching between writing the stems going down and writing the stems going up. Now in the third measure, what do we have? Well, it's the same as this first measure, isn't it? We've got 4/8 notes, and then the last one is tied to a half note. Actually, I missed that earlier. I'm going to put in that tie. So I'm just going to copy that first measure. So 1, 1, 2, 3, 4 with the beam, and then a half note and a tie. Great. And then that's the end of that measure. And then the last measure. Well, it starts out pretty similar to this second measure. So we've got our eighth rest, and then we have dotted quarter note. Draw it going down like that, and then 2 eighth notes. Draw these up like that. Eighth rest and eighth note. All right, so that is our example we're going to work with in this video. So what's the first step that we have? Well, or I guess this is the first. This was the first step for this example. We had to reduce this down to just the rhythm so we can work on it, and hopefully you now understand that that's how all I'm doing is I'm just ignoring these 5 lines and just trying to take out the rhythms from those. So now the second step is going to be what we've kind of been doing with all of our examples, is we're going to write in our 4 big beats, our 4 quarter note beats underneath everything. So first one happens right on the downbeat of the first measure. Then we've got an eighth note that's on our upbeat, and we'll label those later. So we've got 1 and then this is 2, 2, and then we've got 3, 4 played on this half note. But we're not articulating either the downbeat of 3 or the downbeat of 4. Our articulation happens on this upbeat of 2. And so that's something good to realize for right now. And we'll, hopefully you'll hear that when we play through this example later on. Then the next measure, we've got our downbeat that happens on this rest. So that's 1. And then this is interesting because we have a dotted quarter note, but where does it start? Does it start on beat 2? Well, no, it doesn't, because this is beat 1 and it's just an eighth note. So this is actually going to happen on an upbeat. So beat 2 happens after we start playing this note. So I'm going to write in green here. I'm just going to show you that this quarter note is going to start on our upbeat. Okay? So then after that, we've got 2 quarter notes. And it looks like we've got 1, 2, 3, 4 eighth notes so far in the measure. So these quarter notes are just going to happen on beats 3 and 4. So I'll write that in. 3, 4. And then this measure, it's just the same exact rhythm as we had here. So I'm just going to copy this. So we had 1 and 2. And then 3 and 4 under the half note. And then after that, we've got the same beginning rhythm as we had in this measure. So we play, or I guess we don't play 1 on this eighth rest right here, and then 2 happens in the middle of this dotted quarter note. So I'll write that down. 2 in there, and I'll put in my upbeat. So put in the upbeat on this dotted quarter note here to show you that we start playing this dotted quarter note on an upbeat. And then after that, since we've got 1, 2, 3, 4 eighth notes covered here, that gets us all the way up to beat 3, which happens on this eighth note. So 3, and then 4 happens on this eighth rest. 4. So then the next step after this, and probably we'll get all the way through this, and we won't get through singing this, or else actually no, this is a good place to stop for right now. I'm going to stop this right now. Please follow me into the next video, and I'll finish putting in all the upbeat markings to this, and then we'll kind of play through this a couple of times. So thanks for watching, and I'll see you shortly in the next video.